Surely nobody wants the letter L emblazoned on their rear end. Well, apparently Fiat doesn't mind. It's created this car, a supersized version of the 500, and called it the 500L.
Fiat is cashing in on the popularity of the little 500 by creating a whole family of cars with this name.
The theory's sensible. Young 500 driver gets hitched, starts a family and needs a bigger car. Instead of nipping down to their local Citroën garage, they can stick with Fiat and upsize instead.
And to take a swipe at the Mini Countryman, Fiat is also offering the 500L as a mild off-road model called the Trekking.
At launch, 4 engines are offered, 2 diesels and 2 petrols, and none of them can be called punchy. Not even this one, the 1.6 104 brake horsepower diesel. Added to that, the 500L does have rather unresponsive handling. It's a bit wallowy in corners, and the ride does feel a bit bouncy. So the overall verdict on this front is that it's pretty poor in comparison with the Ford B-Max and the Mini Countryman. So, has Fiat produced a decent family car?
Well, the 500L isn't actually a 500 at all. Underneath that bulbous bodywork is the platform from the forthcoming Punto. And that's great news, because it's much taller, wider and longer than you might think.
And that's helped to ensure it's got a hugely practical interior. These large, wide-opening doors make it really easy to get in and out, and once you're inside, there's acres of space. And we reckon there's enough headroom in here and in the back for a team of basketball players.
Visibility is great out of the tall windows, and the rear bench is higher, giving children a better view. And if you want to give your little ones a challenge, why not see if they can find all 22 of the cubby holes that are dotted around the cabin?
Boot space is among the best in class. We measured it at 320 litres up to the window line, and that was with a space-saver spare wheel fitted. This variable boot floor is really handy. Set it to the highest position and you can slide heavy items straight in.
One advantage of these low-powered engines is that the 500L is actually really good on fuel economy.
If you go for this range-topping trekking version, you get City Safety Assist as standard. The 500L does look pricey against budget alternatives like the C3 Picasso, but starting prices are about £1,600 less than the cheapest Mini Countryman.
Generally, Fiat is one of the worst brands for reliability in the annual Which Car survey, but there are exceptions to this. Find out more by clicking the link below.
So, if you've outgrown your 500, should you go for a 500L? If you want a family car with really good performance and handling that makes you grin, go and see a Ford dealer. But if the things you value most are practicality and style, head to a Fiat dealer and tell them to make it a large one.
Find out more about the 500L and its rivals, the Mini Countryman and Ford B-Max, in our comprehensive online reviews.
¿Por qué sonríe el Geely LC? Porque tiene todos los chiches, pero la garantía es en serio. Y porque puede ser tuyo por $12.990. Vení a ver el Geely LC, el auto que sonríe. Geely, más allá de lo esperado.
Now, we don't usually cover concept cars at motor shows, but we think this one in particular has some legs. It's called the Audi Crossline Coupe Concept, but we think it's actually going to be the preview for the 2015 Audi Q2. The Q2 will become Audi's smallest Q car, so its smallest SUV, and it's aimed to take sales away from the Mini Countryman. In terms of size, it's definitely bigger than the Audi A3, but certainly smaller in dimensions to the existing Q3. We expect the platform to be familiar. It should be using the MQB platform that we've talked about so much at this show already, as it's being used on the new Volkswagen Golf and Seat Leon and the existing Audi A3. Engine-wise, well, this concept actually uses a range-extending hybrid. So it's got an electric battery and motor with enough range for 80 miles. Once that mileage is up, there's a 1.3 litre 3-cylinder engine that will supplement that, so it will power the electric motor to then power the wheels. But by 2015, expect the usual lineup of TFSI and TSI petrols and TDI diesels that are already in the existing Audi range. And expect the dimensions to change from this concept too. We think it will be a little bit taller to make it more practical, and it will probably be offered in a 5-door version rather than this 3-door coupe. Interior wise, you can strip out all the extremes of this concept car, and we expect it to have a more practical 4-seat layout. To find out more about this car and all the other cars launched at the 2012 Paris Motor Show, click on one of the links below.